Hey guys, it's Jake from Team Insanity. I'm bringing you sort of a pump video. I made a beginner pump video of what to buy, that kind of stuff. Go check out that video. That was a long time ago, but I still believe in everything I said because it wasn't that long ago. But people have been asking for like us to do an Autococker show, or I don't really know. People just keep on asking for like a pump review and pump stuff. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I've already done a lot of pump videos, and so I'm just gonna sort of do another video, I guess, on different pump guns to buy, and I'm just gonna go into some of the stuff that you can do with pump guns. So people always ask if the Hammer 7 is a good gun. I'd have to say, don't buy the Hammer 7. Nick bought that and made a mistake. I told him that too, but he did. But don't buy the Hammer 7. People keep on asking. We had a review of it, and it was just complete utter shit, and it wasn't even worth putting up. So we just deleted it. It was just kind of saddening. So we didn't upload that, and then Nick sold the Hammer, so we don't have it anymore. So that review is kind of sorry, guys. But I'll tell you a few reasons why in a little bit why not to buy the Hammer 7. So if you, instead of buying the Hammer, what I recommend would be the Empire Tracer. This is half of a tracer, and I only have it up here for one reason. I'm just using it as a little example. So normally the tracer, just look up a picture. All there is just another little trigger right here. Jacob bought a tracer because it's like sort of like his next milsim. It was like his milsim gun basically, because he doesn't use his Tipman anymore. He wanted to put a foregrip on it and maybe put a laser sight on it, which never happened because it's useless. But he wanted to add a few things to it, and he did for a while. But he, he came to reality and just bought a real pump gun and eventually. But the thing is that there's a lot of things you can do with pump guns. That's the reason why I really enjoy pump, is because there's 1,000,005 options out there for you. There really is. I mean, with an electro marker, I mean, what's the difference? Yeah, I don't know. Electros shoot really nice, but you can't really add custom parts on it. You don't like the grip frame of your E-Tech 4? Ha! That fucking sucks. Okay, you can't add a new grip frame. You can't take parts out and put parts in and make it new, unless you have like a mini GS and you put an axe bolt in it. I don't know, but there's not. That's why I really like pump. You don't like it, you make it to you. It's custom made for you. You don't like how something looks on a Lux? That sucks. You don't like how your Ego 11 the regulator feels? That sucks. You're stuck with it. There's not much that you can really do. You kind of have to wait for the companies to progress, listen to what the fans say, what the consumer says, and then they go and make the next gun. But with building pumps like Autocockers, I'll go into later, you don't have to wait for that. You can do your own thing, which is why I really like it and why a lot of other people like it. But it takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of skills that I don't really even have, to be honest. I have someone build my Autocockers for me. I'll get into that in a second. But there's a few different types of pumps. If you're looking for something very simple, very basic, very, very lightweight, there's a few things that you can go with. Empire Tracer being one of them, a Phantom being one of them, a Buzzard being, there's all kinds of different, just single little tube with a bolt and valve in there that you can go with. Go off of something with a Phantom body. And even with a Phantom, holy shit, you can do a lot of things to a Phantom. You can run vertical stock class. Okay, if you guys don't know what that is, it's just stock class, sort of like this. But it's a different stock class setup. You can run a different stock class. You can run the 10 or 12 gram adapter out of the back. You can run stock class, but then have a little 4-ounce tank on the front, so you sort of have something to hold on to, pump, and then it has like something to grab onto, I guess, as a regulator, as a makeshift reg. You can bottom line it. There's still a lot of things that you can do with the Phantom. Go watch my review on the Phantom. There's a lot of things that you can do with the Phantom, which I really liked about the Phantom, but I would only really use the Phantom in Woods Ball. I've used it in Speedball. Not my thing. But there's, like I said, there's a lot of things that you can do with those types of guns that you can't do with an Electro. Okay? You don't like the Empire Vanquish ASA? Ha! That sucks. I mean, you don't like your pump ASA? Go fucking buy a new one. It's pretty simple. That's why I like pumps. But the reason why I have the tracer up here that's sort of broken. If you're really looking into into some really inexpensive pump play, the Tracer is really good. There's two levels that I would have to say. Is if you're looking for something that's like a Phantom type, really low weight, very low maintenance, not much that you really have to do. It's just very basic and simple. Just one body, you got a trigger, and that's all you have in your pump panel. That's all you got. I mean, pump in general, they're pretty basic, but if you're looking for something like that, then go with the Tracer. If you're looking for something like an Autococker setup like this, go with the Azode and Chaos pump. And I always say go with the Azode and Chaos pump because I see generally a lot more people like the Autococker pump styles, and I'll get into that why later. But the nice thing about the Tracer and the Phantom is that you can have the nice stock class tube right here, which is really, really cool. So you can run the 10 round tubes. That's basically what it's for. It's really cool. That's why Jacob got the Empire Tracers, that he wanted something very low weight, very simple. I mean, when you're playing pump at Lone Wolf, you're not really going out there and killing 10, 15, 20 people with a pump gun. It doesn't happen like that. He wanted something really low weight he can run around in the woods with, get around very easy, flank people, come around, shoot people in the back, maybe steal a flag or two. That is what he wanted the pump gun for, was to run missions and objectives and just have something sort of like a pistol, but it's a little bit more useful than a pistol, sort of, unless if you really enjoy pistols and you're dead accurate with one. But that's why he got the Tracer, and I 100% agree with that. Like I said, go watch my first pump video, Pump Player for Beginners, and you know, go watch that. And the first thing that I said, if you're too lazy for the lazy, long story short, don't buy the most expensive pump gun in the world, because if you don't like it, I mean, you're gonna have to face with reselling it and that kind of stuff, and you might be out 600 bucks. So anyways, like I said, go watch that video. It's really going to help. There's a lot of other information in there. But if you want just a very simple, very basic, look at the Tracers, look at the Phantoms, that kind of stuff like that kind of bodies that are just very basic. A lot of people really enjoy those, especially the people that are out playing in the woods, want something for that very low paint scenario day, or if you're playing a 2-day scenario and you just want to have something for the second day, for very low paint for your last few hours, you can make 20 balls last you, God, you can make literally 20 balls last you 10 games and still shoot a few people out. It happens. It's awesome. And it's a really good feeling. That's why a lot of people play pump. It's not for everyone. Let me just say that it's not for everyone. But like I said, go watch the last video. But this is one style of pump marker that you can get. It's pretty cool. Now, my personal favorite, and what Jacob has moved on to, and what most of us has actually moved on to except for Nick, is Autococker style pumps. I've always wanted an Autococker before I got my Oracle. I always really wanted one. Here's two right here. I got my mini Oracle, and then Jacob has his Sniper. Now, one of the first things, the reason why I don't always recommend pump for newer players is because it takes more gear. So if you're an established player, keep watching. But if you're a new pump player, go watch that last video. One of the things that you're going to need that's essential to playing pump is a barrel kit. The reason why is that you're going to have to underbore your paint probably by like 1 or 2 bore sizes. Okay, let me see what bore. Oh, he doesn't have anything in here. Let me get the 684. That's what I always use. Now, there's a lot of really good barrel kits out there. I suggest a Freak kit or a Stella kit, or there's a lot of barrels actually out there that I would recommend. 679, there we go. That's his pump insert. But what I say is that you're going to need a barrel kit is because you're going to get ball rollouts. You really have to underbore paint when you're playing pump. I mean, it's just how it is. You're going to have to underbore paint, because if you don't, you're going to have a bad time. I'm sorry. You're going to have ball rollouts. You're going to shoot inaccurate. It's just going to suck. Okay? That's why I don't always recommend pump for players that are on a tight budget. If you're sort of a budget baller, if you really have a lot of extra money to throw away for, maybe you got a raise for a year or something and you have a little extra money set aside, then definitely go to pump, because it'll save you money in the long run because you're shooting a lot less paint. But don't come in with the mindset, oh, I need to buy a pump gun because it's going to save me a lot of money. You can do it cheaply. But at the same time, if you want to play good pump, you're going to have to spend a little bit more money because you're going to need a nice barrel kit. Deadly Winds is a big choice of pump players. Empire Super Freak is another good one. But I mean, you're talking in the $200. You're talking 110 with inserts. And you can get a Stella kit 680 back and just get a small back. There's ways around it, or just buy a cheaper barrel that is I don't know, just a small bore. But I would recommend a free kit with smaller inserts because you're really going to need to bore your paint, and you're going to have to sort of underbore a little bit. So if you like to overbore, that sucks, I'm sorry. But there is a lot of things. I actually just use my boomstick. I have a 684 boomstick that fits paint really tight. I use that. So if you already have like a boomstick or a tight back, then you should be fine. But there's a reason why I picked Autococker pumps. For one, you can get speed. Two, they're cool. I mean, just seeing the whole block come back and hit you in the face is really cool. You look really ag. Three, there's 5 billion kajillion parts. There's parts galore for these things. You don't like your pump kit, or you don't like how this shoots, you can go right ahead and change it. This is a Vendetta. Holy crap! This is a Vendetta pump kit. I've seen them going anywhere between 100 on the small side and 200 on the normal side. I've seen them going for about 200 bucks every now and then. They're expensive. This reg, you can't find this reg anymore. This is like a $200 reg. Again, DJ was nice enough to let me have it. So right there's $400 right off the bat to start building your Autococker without the body. The body, you can find Oracle bodies 50 to 100 bucks depending upon if it's in good condition, has internals, that kind of stuff, and a nice frame. Now, some people like the double trigger frames, as in Jacob likes a bigger trigger frame. So what he did is he put, well, he bought it like this, but he wanted it like that, is that he got one that has a little bit bigger of a trigger that he can fit 2 fingers in there. As you can see, there's a lot of different things that I can make this pump shoot the same exact way as this pump, okay? If that's cool. So if you want cool wooden grips, you can put wooden grips on there if you can find them. You can do all kinds of really cool stuff. There's different bodies, there's different feed necks, there's different pump kits, like I said, trigger frames, grip frames, ASAs, regulators. There's different everything. Sure, you can put that on a stock gun, but who's going to change out a regulator on a fucking Ego 11 or an LV one? No one. Okay, I highly doubt anyone will. You can't change out a grip frame. You can't do that kind of stuff. That's why people like pumps. The other thing is that if you're looking to maybe use something like a rotor, or 6845 tank, that kind of stuff, you're definitely going to want an Autococker pump. At least from my experience, for me being to play comfortable, I definitely don't want to go put a 6845 Ninja tank and a huge rotor on a small ass Empire tracer. The reason why, I said this in the Bob Long MVP review, that's another gun that's sort of like the Phantom bodies, is that it sort of felt uncomfortable to have the tank, a heavy 6845 tank, plus a die rotor filled with paint and everything on it. Just kind of seemed unbalanced and just kind of uncomfortable for me. It wasn't what I liked, and I didn't really want to run a 50 round with a small little 3013 cubic inch tank. I didn't really like that. So that's why if I put a rotor on this in a 6845 tank, it's going to be a lot more balanced, and it's going to feel more comfortable, heavy, I guess you can say. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, you're putting stuff on a gun that's a little bit more well balanced for heavier tanks, that kind of stuff. So that's really, really cool. That's why if you're looking to put a 6845 tank in a die rotor or your Z2 or something and shoot a little bit more paint as a Phantom, but a lot less paint than semi, definitely go with an Autococker pump. Sure, I put a 50 round hopper on this. I do it all the time. I put a 100 round hopper on this. But I like having the nice tank in the back. I just like how this is set up for me. That's the thing about pump. You can make it your own. That's the biggest thing. If you're looking to get into Autocockers, definitely, if you have no experience at all, you're gonna have to have someone show you how to build it and have someone do it for you. It's not like you can just research a YouTube video how to build a pump gun correctly. It's not like typing in how to maintenance your Eagle 11. It's not like that. It's not how to maintenance blah blah blah. It's completely different. Okay, it's a completely different world. It takes someone with a lot of knowledge in autocockers to be able to build one properly. I had DJ help build. He built this Oracle, and God, it shoots amazing. He has a very high. He just has a great knowledge. He grew up with playing paintball with the Autocockers and Automags, and I don't know, he's a fucking dinosaur, but he grew up, or not grew up, but I mean he started using, he was in that time where you used a lot of Autocockers and the parts came out. So he has all the knowledge inside of his head that I don't have, with all the different internals, all the different things that you can do to it. And I basically said I want a gun that has a nice pump stroke, shoots really smooth, and that's about it. And he's just like, I have a perfect gun for you. Travis's Oracle, and I traded the rail for it. And you can really get different things with it, okay? So as I'm shooting, I wanted the smoothest pump stroke possible. As you can see, it doesn't return. I don't have a return spring on it or anything. I can add that if I really want. If I don't like it, I can add a different pump kit. But with that, it's gonna make it a little bit less of a pump, or a little bit heavier of a pump stroke. Also, I don't have any O-rings on my bolt. It's gonna cause a little bit more blowback. Also, goes into the very smooth pump stroke. I have a very smooth pump stroke on this Oracle. O-rings will cause dragging and a little bit, maybe not so much binding, but you can feel the little bit drag that the O-ring cause. I don't have that on my bolt. You might want it on your bolt. You might want to add O-rings or a return spring, that kind of stuff. There's so many things that you can do to this if you don't like it, and you can build it to be your own. But the thing is that if you have no idea about autocockers and building pumps with that kind of stuff, really get someone to know. I wouldn't even say I really know how to build one. Hell no, I don't know anything about what it takes to really go down, sit down and know all of the different parts. DJ has a bunch of different parts just laid out everywhere, and you can basically tell him what you want, and he thinks in his head, he's like, okay, so I'm gonna give you this internals, well maybe I'll give you these internals, it's gonna cost a little bit more, but it'll shoot better, and maybe I'll give you this pump kit, that kind of, and you can sit there and think about it. So definitely go to the field, find an older guy who works on autocockers and builds that kind of stuff, and just say, hey, I need your help. Find me some internals to make something that can shoot like this. And they'll be like, okay, you want these internals. Okay, if you go and ask someone like me that has been playing and doesn't really build autocockers, I'm gonna be like, DJ, come here. And that's what I'm gonna be like, because I have no use. I'm trying to learn everything that there is to know about the autococker pumps and everything, but can I build one? Not nearly as good as what he can build one. People wanted to see a video of us building a cocker pump. Maybe we can get DJ to build one, and then we can buy it off of him and do a giveaway. And that's something that we might do in the future, of a pump, and it might be something really cool. And there's a lot of different bodies that you can get. You don't like the milling of this? Go right ahead. You can even buy your own. Like Nick's Autococker, you can get like a early 2K or older 95 or up cocker that has it's just a block, and you can mill it out yourself if you know how to do that. You can make it your own gun. If you don't like the body of this and you like this body more, go ahead. Build it on this body, okay? Take this grip frame, put it on here. Take my Vendetta pump stroke, put it on here. There's literally everything that you can do with pumps. You can mix and match them, is what I really like with autococker pumps, is that there's never ending. If you don't like it, you can keep building, you can keep adding, that kind of stuff. So that's why autococker pumps are my favorite. Can you take a Bob Long MVP and add a different pump kit on it? Probably not, without someone that knows what they're doing to basically modify it. Adam from Virtual Modifications does a lot of really cool stuff. But can a normal person just go and start milling a Bob Long MVP to fit a Vendetta pump kit? Nah, not really. So, but if you buy a CCM, you can put all the CCM pump kits on there, and you can put different CCM bolts in there and that kind of stuff. So there's really a lot of cool things that you can do with pumps, with autococker pumps. So that's what I really recommend is if you have extra money and you want to get into pump and you want to shoot something really nice, just go to your field, talk to someone that knows what they're doing, that's not going to run you dry for money, and just be like, hey, I want this in my pump. I want this, I want, and you can even go and research pump bodies or research autococker bodies. This is an Oracle. And just say, hey, I want this body. Build me something off of this. They'll be like, all right, no problem. And then you just have to pay for the parts. So there's some really cool things, like I said, that you can do with these. And that's what I recommend for pump, is that you figure out what kind of player you are, build your own pump, and be your own player. That's what I really like. So I hope this video kind of helps you out. It's sort of like a random video, but it sort of gives you a little bit of a knowledge of what to do, sort of give you a little starting point. So yeah, thanks for watching.